Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Britain. Today, we're talking about Ben Shephard, the man millions of us wake up with every single morning, right here on this channel. Ben has always carried himself with confidence. Whether he's interviewing world leaders or cracking jokes with his co-hosts, he makes it look effortless. But recently, Ben sat down and opened up about one of the most personal moments of his life. And honestly, it wasn't what anyone expected, because the story of how Ben proposed to his wife Annie turns out to be far more complicated and far more emotional than the fairy tale people imagined. Ben Shephard and Annie have been together for decades. To the outside world, they're a picture-perfect couple. 2 sons, a beautiful family, a life most people would envy. But rewind back to the beginning, to the moment Ben decided to get down on one knee. Ben has opened up about the proposal in a way that few men ever dare to. Because when he asked Annie to marry him, her response wasn't a tearful yes. It wasn't a gasp or a moment of breathless joy. Annie laughed, not a soft, surprised little giggle. A proper, disbelieving laugh, the kind that makes your stomach drop. According to Ben, Annie's initial reaction was less romantic movie and more brutal reality check. She was shocked. She wasn't ready. And she didn't hide it. Now, for most people, that moment would be absolutely crushing. Imagine working up the courage to ask the biggest question of your life and being met with laughter. But here's where Ben's story gets truly extraordinary. Because he didn't walk away. He didn't let pride win. He sat with the awkwardness. He sat with the honesty. And he gave Annie the space to process what had just happened. And when she did, she said yes. What makes this story so deeply moving isn't the happy ending. It's everything that came before it. Ben has spoken about how Annie's reaction, as hard as it was in that moment, actually told him everything he needed to know about the woman he was marrying. She was real. She was honest. She wasn't going to tell him what he wanted to hear just to avoid an uncomfortable moment. And that, Ben says, is exactly the woman he fell in love with. In a world full of staged proposals on Instagram and picture-perfect love stories, Ben and Annie's beginning was messy, uncertain, and completely human. There's something about that which hits differently. Because most of us have been in those moments where love doesn't look the way we expected it to. Where the person we care about surprises us, unsettles us, and ultimately teaches us something we didn't know we needed to learn. Ben has also spoken about the years that followed, the challenges, the demands of life in television, raising their boys together, and navigating a relationship under the constant pressure of public life. He's been refreshingly open about the fact that marriage isn't always easy, that love takes work, that the version of Ben and Annie the world sees isn't the full picture. And somehow, knowing that their story started with a laugh and a wobble, it makes everything they've built together feel even more meaningful. Have you ever had a proposal story that didn't go to plan? Or maybe you know someone whose love story started completely differently to how they imagined. Drop your story in the comments below. We read every single one. And tell us, would you have reacted the way Annie did? Or would you have said yes right away? Watch until the very end because we have one final thought on this that we think will really stay with you. Ben Shephard's proposal story isn't sad in the way the headlines might suggest. It's actually something far more beautiful than a perfect, polished fairy tale. It's a story about 2 people who chose honesty over performance, who built something real, not something that just looked good from the outside. Annie's laugh in that moment, looking back, it wasn't rejection. It was just the truth, unfiltered, unscripted, and entirely her. And Ben loved her anyway. That's not sad. That's one of the most quietly powerful love stories we've heard in a very long time. Whatever your own love story looks like, the messy parts, the unexpected twists, the moments that didn't go the way you planned, perhaps that's exactly where the real thing lives. If this story moved you even slightly, please give this video a thumbs up. It genuinely helps more people find stories like this one. Subscribe to Good Morning Britain right here on YouTube so you never miss a moment like this. We're here every morning with the stories that matter. Share this with someone who needs a reminder that real love doesn't always arrive perfectly wrapped. And leave us a comment. We want to hear your story too. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow morning.